A different frequency production.
As a chef, you always think we eat last. We do. But we also eat first. Now, oh, very hot. I got banana and it's really hot in the middle. When it's been done a little bit crispy like that, on the butter, on the flame, it's like eating pure heaven. So, this is exactly how high or thick. When I was 8 and learning how to cook these, I would eat like 40 of them. According to my brother Ed, he'd eat them all. There you go. So if you can use about 15, 16 extra pounds right there in the go for it. Oh, how am I doing, evil Spidey?
You never gave me a fucking pancake, asshole!
Hey, good afternoon or good morning, depending on when this is airing in your time zone. And welcome back to another episode of Do Epic Shit. I'm going to do a strange little montage of story time with Grunkle Shawn. So when you are watching this is from Antwerp, Belgium, but the other stuff I'm shooting was when I was making blueberry, banana, and strawberry pancakes with for my brother and his wife and kid in Amsterdam. So it's going to be all kind of mixed up and discombobbled. But here in Antwerp, we're starting with story time with Grunkle Shawn. This is a story that explains a lot of your great grandmother Aria, Carson. She was an amazing woman, very, very stern woman, very strict, very amazing woman to have to deal with the time period and what she dealt with. First coming up from Georgia, where she's from, and her first husband, whose last name was Beard, and their beautiful 2 kids, my Uncle Charles and Aunt Grace, were from that relationship. But then she came up here and met my grandfather, your great-grandfather, since I'm your grunkle. This is for like Grease Faith and Greffu Avery and the rest that will come along. Aria was fantastic. She was one of the first black catering chefs in the East Coast of the United States that I know of. I haven't really done a whole lot of research. You'll have to talk to the dude who did the Cooking Gene. Brilliant book. I never finished it because it gets kind of slow in the middle. Great recipes, but he's the dude. I'll put his shit up here, but he's the dude who is from the South, and he does a great book on the African, the Creole, the indigenous, the white influences that go into all of American, real true American. This story is all about the courage and the tenacity and the ingenuity of your great grandmother Aria Carson Thomas. That was her a maiden last name. She was working, got a job for Doris Duke who was a major film star back in the early mid 1900s, and your great grandmother, your great grandmother, my grandmother, came to the back door. The story goes she came to the back door of Doris Duke, and they were looking for another chef because their chef had, I don't know, been returned to slavery, or I don't know, busted for his third 3 times you're out for selling dope or something. I don't know, or maybe he ran away with Duke Ellington and was playing bebop skidat with that cat. But they needed a new chef, and they asked her, "Oh, can you do a lobster troubadour?" And of course, being a Carson, she said, "Sure, I can do a lobster troubadour." Granted, get it. Yeah. So she had no clues what a lobster was, let alone troubadour. She might have known what a lobster was, but she didn't know what the troubadour was. I still, to this fucking day, don't really know, don't give a shit. But when the lobster showed up, she had no idea that she was supposed to drop those motherfuckers live into hot boiling water before she gutted them and then filled them with the crap, with the troubadours, and then baked them. So she took a mallet, like you would do with a fish or with anything else, and she bashed the fuck out of them and killed them. They're seafood. They're supposed to be dead, right? Nope. So when the anti-chef or the assistant chef came in, and he's like, "What the fuck did you do?" He goes, "Oh," and she lied. She goes, "Oh, they were bad. They were not good lobsters. So I had to get rid of them." And he's like, "Well, what are we going to do now?" They're expecting the Kennedys and perhaps the Rockefellers and all the richest people of the East Coast to be coming to Doris Duke's dinner party. They're at the end of the famous Cliff Walk. She has like a mansion there now. Her house is still there. She's been long dead, but her house is at the very end of the Ocean Drive, or not the end of the Ocean Drive, the end of the Cliff Walk part of the Ocean Drive. So when you do the Cliff Walk in Newport, Rhode Island, when you get to the very end, there's this big, huge gate, this big, huge fence. That's the property of Doris Duke. And if you remember my story about getting in over my head, that's where we would sneak onto that property and jump off of the cliffs called Doris Duke's. It's actually open to public access, but sometimes some assholes put up a fence or put up whatever, and you gotta sneak by and sort of cut through people's manicured lawns. Anyway, Doris Duke had a house there, and so your great grandmother, Aria Carson Thomas, had a conundrum. She's like, "Oh, well," and then she basically took some chickens, wrung their necks, and she defeathered them. I'm kind of ad-libbing here. This is my embellishment. Basically, she made them a southern fried chicken dinner with all the fixings, with collard greens and hush puppies and all the things that go with a southern meal.
A different frequency production.